Let's give it up. Let's give a hand to the WWE for finally giving us a good episode of Monday Night Raw. Finally. It wasn't the greatest episode of Monday Night Raw, but who cares? It was a decent episode. It did its job. It kept me entertained for a majority of the 3 hours. And we got some great stuff leading up to WrestleMania, getting me excited for what's going to happen at WrestleMania. So let's get into the show. Welcome to the Raw review, guys. So, this Monday Night Raw episode, March 6th, 2017, the fallout to WWE Fastlane. So Raw kicked off with the United States Champion, Chris Jericho, Y2J. Obviously, babyface, came out, got an extraordinary pop. They were in Chicago, one of the best crowds, other than that damn CM Punk chant. But one of the best crowds, or the better crowds in the WWE when they, go to these different towns. So they were in Chicago. He says, this was the birthplace to Y2J, where he dropped the infamous promo against The Rock, the Y2K promo, and all that other good stuff, where his career in the WWE started. So he said that tonight is the resurrection of Chris Jericho. Last night he screwed Kevin Owens out of the Universal Championship, and Kevin Owens had it coming because Kevin Owens betrayed him at the Festival of Friendship. He turned on him and ripped his heart out. He put his knife in the back of Jericho and twisted in, man. And Jericho wants to know why. He wants Kevin Owens to come out and explain to him, face him man to man, and tell him why he did that. So Kevin Owens' music hits. He comes out, microphone in hand. Obviously, he's not going to the ring yet. And he said after what he did to him last night, does he really think that he's going to give him the answer that he wants to why he attacked him a few weeks ago? And then Jericho just was like, while he was explaining, or while he was saying that, he was just like, quiet, doing the quiet gimmick. And he was like, just shut up. I don't want to hear any BS from you. Just tell me why my best friend of 8 months decided to do what he did to me. Kevin was like, you really want to know why? He was like, I didn't stab my best friend in the back because I never had a best friend. You were never my best friend. And then Owens went on to say Sami Zayn was once his best friend, and he stabbed him in the back. And he'd do it over and over and over and over again and again and again. Jericho was just a tool, and he used him. Because the night he became Universal Champion, Triple H told him that he had to do what it takes to keep it. He needed someone to watch his back with experience, and who's been there before, and more importantly, somebody that's gullible to be used. He said Jericho was the perfect tool until he became outdated and outused. When he accepted that match at Fastlane against Goldberg, that's when he became a burden. The crowd chanted for Goldberg and whatever. He said he knows he would have beat Goldberg if it wasn't for Jericho. He outsmarted him. And Owens said that he spared him at the Festival of Friendship. He let him walk away for the sake of his family. But doing that was the biggest mistake of his career. He'll never make that mistake again. He told Jericho his biggest mistake, Jericho's biggest mistake was costing him the title. And then Jericho told him he'll never make that again. Jericho told him his biggest mistake was trusting him. He said he would have done it. He would have done the same thing to Owen years ago. He would have did it quicker and smarter than he did. But he doesn't need Owens as a best friend. He has thousands of best friends in attendance and, all over. Pretty much just certifying that he's heel. He has the crowd on his side and whatever. They gave him a huge pop. Jericho says costing him the title at Fastlane doesn't make them even. Last night was the beginning of a long and winding road with twists and turns leading to a match at WrestleMania. So Owens was like, I'm glad you brought that up. After last night, you may think that all I want is to get my title back, but I have a rematch for whenever I so choose to use it. But he said all he can think about is taking Jericho's title away from him. And the only way he'll face him at WrestleMania is if he puts the title on the line. So Jericho was like, okay, that's fine with me. We can just get it on. Matter of fact, why are we going to wait till WrestleMania? We can do it right now. And that's when Owen charged the ring, and him and Jericho started going at it. Jericho was getting the upper hand. And then, of course, Samoa Joe slides into the ring out of nowhere. They start jumping Jericho. And then Sami Zayn comes down with a steel chair, an equalizer, if you will. Starts unloading on them. but Owens is able to take the chair away from him. And then, you know, they start double teaming up on Sami Zayn. And that's when Jericho got back up and grabbed the steel chair and just started smacking it over both of their backs. And they both got out of the ring. And it's looking like this group may be starting up. Slowly but surely, it's happening week after week. They mentioned it. They mentioned Samoa Joe with Kevin Owens, I think at Fastlane. And now, all of a sudden, he's out there helping him out. And he's not the champion anymore. So, I don't know. Maybe they're going to do this group after all. I'm just hoping it makes sense. I'm hoping it's good. So, we'll see. But this led to a match between Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, being the first match on Raw. And Jericho and Joe are banned from ringside because they have a match against each other later on in the night. So we had this match. Zayn and Owens were continuing their fight from earlier, just without the chairs. They were taking out their frustrations on each other. I like they made singles matches and kept Jericho and Owens away from each other in match form. They didn't make it a tag team match, and I appreciated that. They don't need to be really in a match. You don't need to kill the match before it happens at WrestleMania. So keeping them away from each other in match form is probably the best idea. Zayn and Owens fought all over the ring, back and forth brawling. That's when Owens took over. He hit a cannonball in the corner, went for a pop-up powerbomb. Sami countered it. Owens went to the outside of the ring. The ref was trying to get him back in the ring. Sami said screw it and just jumped over him, did a senton outside of the ring. They get back into the ring, and Owens catches him with a pop-up powerbomb, but he doesn't pin him. He continues to beat him up, hits a somersault leg drop on the back of his neck, and then he drops Sami's knee on his neck onto Kevin Owens' knee, and then another pop-up powerbomb, and Kevin Owens wins the match. Match didn't go long at all, but Owens did some damage. Next, we get the match of the night. Once again, it's a cruiserweight match, and once again, Neville is involved. Neville versus Rich Swann for the WWE Cruiserweight Championship. And I know what you guys are thinking. Why is Rich Swann getting a Cruiserweight Championship match out of nowhere? Well, apparently he was hurt and wasn't able to invoke his rematch clause, and now he's doing so. So Swann started off on fire, bringing the fight to Neville early and often. As soon as the bell rung, he just shot out like a rocket. He was doing good. They were both fighting on the outside. Then Neville threw him into the ring. The little ring monitor that's on the outside, it's just the ring itself, but just the monitor that says Raw or whatever technical thing they have. Threw him into that. He apparently kept his balance and landed on his feet, and Neville had to do it again, and then he landed head first. Those are two just nasty spots, the way he threw him into that ring. It just didn't look good. In a good way. If that makes sense. Probably doesn't. Anyway, I just loved how aggressive both of these guys were with each other. It had a championship match feel to it. It wasn't just like a normal cruiserweight match, flippy stuff, and then that was it. They were actually out there trying to kill each other. Swann kicked Neville and prevented him from entering back into the ring. Then Swann did what they call a swan dive to the outside, which was just a flying senton. Swann was able to pull all the moves in his arsenal out in this match to try to get his title back. He had a very nice Michinoku driver. Seemed every kick that both of these guys threw felt like it had more emphasis on it. These guys, like I said, were out for blood. They were trying to kill each other. They both got to the top rope, did a nice superplex. Swann, being smart though, he took the back end of it, and as soon as he landed, he started to roll out the ring because he knew that Neville was going to slap that submission onto him, that Ring of Saturn that he does. He knew he was going to slap on that submission, so he got out of the ring, being smart, learning from his mistakes last time. I love the back and forth they had. Swann countered a suplex that Neville was going to throw and hit one of his own. Then he super kicked Neville, only got a 2 count. He caught Neville on the side of the head with a kick and went for a Phoenix Splash, and he missed. He took a high risk and he missed it. Neville took advantage and then applied that same submission that he was going to apply earlier, and Rich Swann had to tap out. But this was a great match. One of the best matches I've seen since the Cruiserweight Classic. So Neville is just putting on great match after great match. I don't know if it's him or if they're just giving them time to do what they know they can do, and well, we all know that they can do, or what. But even more importantly, after this match, Austin Aries interviews Neville, and he asks him, you know, how does it feel to be at the top of the mountain? The crowd chants for Austin Aries. He's like, all right, thank you guys, but I'm trying to interview the champion. Neville says it appears he's done what he said he would do. So far, you know, so for anybody who ever doubted him and forgot about him and whatever, just wrote him off, look at him now. He's laid waste to every pretender on 205 Live, and nobody can compete with him. And Austin was like, so there's nobody on your level that can compete with you, right? And then they chanted for Aries again. And Neville just looked at the crowd again with that look of disdain, like, how dare you do this? He said, you know, I think the WWE Universe disagrees with you, as they were chanting his name. Neville says, you cannot be seriously suggesting yourself. You must be delusional if you think you're on my level. And then he tells him he's tired of him, so he should go back to making cheap jokes on the announce desk. This is when Austin Aries took his glasses off, his sunglasses that he wears, because Neville was spitting as he was talking. He was literally in this man's face spitting, and you could tell Aries was just getting pissed. He was just, you know, just slandering him, telling him, just go back to the desk or whatever. This ring is my territory, so I suggest you get out before I re-break your orbital bone. And, like, Aries was just like, look, man, I'm just trying to do my job. And Neville asked him, so what are you going to do about it? And just kept pressuring him. And the Aries is like, all right, I'm just trying to do my job. I have one more question for you, and then I'm done. And Neville's like, all right, what? And Aries is like, well, it's not exactly a question. It's more of a statement. And then he just started beating the hell out of Neville, and he hit him with that forearm that he does. I forgot what it's called. Oh, man, I should know what that's called. But he hit him with that forearm that he does, and Neville got the hell up out of there. Neville was taken aback by that. He didn't expect Austin Aries to attack him. But Austin Aries finally is going to be a part of the Cruiserweight division. They're gaining more and more hype, and just adding Austin Aries is just a whole lot better. The crowd loves him. He's over. He's a great wrestler. He's just going to put on even more amazing matches with the Cruiserweights, and they better not treat him like crap. And hopefully he's gonna wrestle at WrestleMania. He's never wrestled at WrestleMania before, so that was great. Enzo and Cass were talking to Sheamus and Cesaro backstage. They pretty much have a rematch against the tag team champions, and Cesaro and Sheamus were just telling them not to choke it, and you know they were just arguing, bickering back and forth or whatever. And they said they're not going to choke. They're going to be popping bubbly after they win, and they won't be losers like Cesaro was last week against Samoa Joe. Just taking cheap shots at each other. These two teams do not like each other. No love lost. So, after that, we get the new WWE Universal Champion, Goldberg. Goldberg comes out. He says that the championship belongs to the fans as much as it belongs to him. He couldn't do it without him, and he's a humbled man. He says he has some info that he has never divulged before, and something about something. And before he could, you know, get started with what he wanted to say, the crowd starts chanting CM Punk, and WWE is like, fuck it, send Paul Heyman the fuck out there right now. They killed that immediately, because Goldberg was like, yeah, I hear you. I sure do. He was acknowledging the chants. Vince was probably like, God damn it, send Paul out there. He's acknowledging CM Punk. Send him out there, damn it. He was just probably losing his shit backstage. So Paul Heyman comes out. He says they shouldn't confuse him with someone is stupid enough to shake Goldberg's hand. His hand shouldn't be the one shaking his hand, and he did not come alone. So he brings out Brock Lesnar. Brock goes to the ring, you know, all hyped up. Not saying a word, of course. Gets into the ring. Paul Heyman gets in there, and he says his client has come to shake his hand and congratulate him on being the new Universal Champion. And he knows how happy Goldberg is about beating Kevin Owens, but no one is happier than Brock Lesnar, because at WrestleMania his client is willing to shake his hand because he's proven to be conquered, or he's proven that he can conquer people like Brock Lesnar conquers people, and pretty much Brock is taking the title. They'll do battle, and there can only be one winner, and one walk out as the loser. Brock outstretched his hand, and Goldberg's looking like, I'm not falling for that. You think I'm stupid? Paul says he's a man who doesn't make predictions, he makes spoilers. And after their match, there will be a new reigning, defending, undisputed Universal Champion. Then, as he's walking away after he loses, the fans can say, oh, look, there go Brock's bitch. And Goldberg stopped and turned around because Paul Heyman was facing the other way, but kind of in the corner. So Goldberg turned around to look at him, and as soon as he did that, Brock Lesnar grabbed him F5. I'm like, oh, snap, Goldberg took a bump. This is the first time he's taken any type of bump since he came back, other than the one with the door that he self-inflicted on himself. So Goldberg took a bump. Wasn't a bad segment, but I'm still not excited for their match. I'm sorry, I just can't get invested in it. I don't care how big of a star these guys are, which I don't even know why they are. They both lack in personality. And, you know, it's just like the same things people complain about Roman Reigns not having. Even though I can't defend Reigns at this point, but the same things you guys complain about Roman Reigns not having is the same thing that Brock and Goldberg doesn't have. And they do less in the ring than Reigns does. Sure, they're built up to be monsters or whatever, but you can be built up as a monster and still put on good matches. Look at Braun Strowman. Just saying. So yeah, after that, we got the Tag Team Championship rematch. Enzo and Cass versus Gallows and Anderson. Pretty much started off the same way it did last night. And it ended in disqualification when Enzo did a suicide dive on Gallows. And he started celebrating and dancing. Wasn't looking where he was going. And Cesaro and Sheamus were ringside. He ran right into Cesaro, spilling whatever coffee he had in his hand. And Cesaro chased him into the ring. Tried to clothesline him, but winded up hitting Anderson instead, and disqualification, all hell broke loose. Enzo took a bro kick. That's pretty much what happened. Yeah. Ravishing Rick Rude is going into the WWE Hall of Fame to add to the stacked list of names that are going into the Hall of Fame this year. The original hard body. When this man took his robe off, women went crazy and all the men wanted to kill him. He was great in the ring too. He was a great champion. I remember he beat Ric Flair for the world title and just got so much heat. Everybody just hated this guy, unless you were a woman. Because every time he took that robe off, they went crazy. And their guys and their husbands and boyfriends or whatever just did not like him at all. He was a great character and definitely well-deserving. Long-deserving. Should have been in the Hall of Fame. But I guess now they're going to finally put him into the WWE Hall of Fame. Well-deserved. And this class is just looking incredible. Man, I can't wait for the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame is going to be great. I can't wait to watch that WrestleMania weekend. After that, Enzo and Cass and Cesaro and Sheamus were arguing backstage amongst each other. Referees were trying to separate them. Mick Foley intervened and said, no, this is not how we do things. We're going to settle things next week. You guys will face off in a tag team match, and the winner will face Gallows and Anderson at Mania. And he says he's going to try to have a nice day now. Stephanie walks up to him and says if he wants to have a nice day, follow her to her office right now. So she's apparently pissed at Mick Foley for some reason. Akira Tozawa beat Ariya Daivari. He's getting over with the crowd. The crowd loves this guy. And he even talked on the mic after the match to call out Brian Kendrick because he wanted a match with him too. He beat up Daivari and was like, fuck it, I want another match. Come on, Kendrick, let's do this now. He told Kendrick to come out and face him right now. And then Kendrick's music hits. He comes out to the stage, says he doesn't have an answer for him until 205 Live tomorrow. But his next lesson is be careful what you wish for. I guess this is like his 5th lesson. I haven't been keeping up because I haven't really watched 205 Live. I probably will tomorrow. But he's going to teach him another lesson. I love these cryptic lessons. This is, you know, an off story that doesn't have anything to do with the Cruiserweight title. And it's interesting. I like what they're doing here. So this is very interesting. Tozawa's getting over with the crowd. Kendrick's a great heel. They work well together, and I can't wait till they have their match. I'm getting excited for them to have a match. New Day squash Shining Stars. Nothing to talk about there. Mick Foley calls Bayley to the ring so she can address her WrestleMania opponent. She says she wishes she could call herself a champion, but she can't. She asks Charlotte to leave Dana in the back for their match yesterday at Fastlane. And then Sasha came out to help her in the end. But she needs to move forward and onward to WrestleMania. Something about she saw Lita. Man, you know what? Hold on. Bayley's promos are absolutely horrible. And I hate to say that, but it's true. I can't defend her anymore. And then she has this, they set up, alright, so Charlotte comes out and Sasha. Sasha's like, don't worry. Who knows if Dana was going to come out anyway. Even though she told her to go to the back, doesn't mean she wouldn't have came back out. Don't worry about it. You're the champion. You ain't even got to worry about that. Charlotte comes out and was like, oh, look, Bayley, Sasha's plan is working. She's trying to get on your good side, trying to get me out of the title picture because she knows she can't beat me for the title because after Roadblock, the stipulation was whoever won the title, there would be no more rematches. So the only way she can get the title back is if you're the champion or if Charlotte isn't the champion. So she says her plan is working. She's just using her and she's not really your friend. She just wants your title. So Stephanie comes out, whatever, and she's pretty much saying that Charlotte is the victim here. Charlotte deserves her rematch because Bayley wasn't an honest and genuine champion and all this other stuff. And Foley was like, but you can't not put Sasha Banks in the match at WrestleMania because Stephanie was just trying to make it a one-on-one with Bayley and Charlotte. He was like, all right, cool, but you can't leave the boss out. Stephanie was like, who's the boss now? And got it in his face. He was like, okay, you're my boss, but she's the boss. And after the year she had, you cannot deny that she doesn't deserve to be at WrestleMania. So Mick Foley was like, all right, how about this? How about Charlotte and Sasha face next week, and the winner goes to face Bayley? And Stephanie was like, as much as I dislike you, I like your ideas and I like your input. I like your passion. But I'm going to do you one better. How about Sasha Banks gets to earn her way into the match against Charlotte and Bayley at WrestleMania, but she has to beat Bayley in order to get into the match. And Mick Foley's like, all right, cool, whatever. They have the match. It was sloppy, not a great match. It did not resemble their NXT TakeOver match whatsoever. I don't know what's up with Bayley lately in these sloppy matches, but it's just not good. It's really not. It's like she became champion and just everything she knew about wrestling just went out the window. And I feel bad saying that, but it's true. This was a bad match. They were just countering each other the whole time, and it just wasn't smooth. It was sloppy. They were trying to do too much. Sasha won with the bank statement. Sasha will go on to WrestleMania to be in a triple threat match. I don't know what they're going to do with Nia Jax, or they're just going to throw her to the wayside or whatever, but that's pretty much the same match last year, just instead of Becky Lynch, Bayley's there. So hopefully they add Nia to it, at least make it a fatal four-way. That'll be more interesting, different dynamic instead of just a triple threat. But yeah, very sloppy match. Could have been executed way better. Between this match and the match yesterday, just both matches are very lackluster, very underwhelming, and I know they can do better. So hopefully they get it together and put on a better match next time, because WrestleMania is coming soon. I don't want to see a sloppy botch fest at WrestleMania. I really don't, and I'm hoping that's not what we get. Braun Strowman apparently said that he was going to finish what he started with Reigns, and Reigns pretty much responded by saying, I'll be in the middle of the ring at the end of the night if he wants to come see me. They showed a Seth video package of him rehabbing and everything, and just preparing for WrestleMania. Triple H had a little interview with Cole via satellite. He says he hopes that Seth listens to the experts and everything and doesn't show up at Mania. He said he doesn't have to make up Triple H said he doesn't have to make up a name for himself like the Man. People give him names like the Cerebral Assassin and the Game and all of this other stuff. He doesn't come up with this stuff himself. People give him these names. He doesn't have to brag about being the Man. People know he's the Man. And if Seth is smart, he wouldn't show up to WrestleMania, because WrestleMania is where dreams come true and you become the Man. But if he shows up, it'll be a nightmare for him. And If he doesn't listen to the doctors, it'll be the last thing he does inside a WWE ring. After that, we get Samoa Joe and Chris Jericho. This was a great match. The Destroyer was on the hunt once again. He beat the hell out of Jericho, stopped all his offense and momentum, same way he did to Sami Zayn last night. So we're keeping Joe strong. He put Jericho in a coquina clutch on the outside of the ring and choked him out for 8 seconds. And then on the count of 9, got back into the ring and Jericho got counted out. So Joe didn't pin him or submit him technically inside the ring. He did it on the outside of the ring and got back in and won by countout because Jericho couldn't make the count. So after the match, he tried to throw him back into the ring. Jericho caught him with a code breaker. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. Joe kicked his ass for most of the match and won by countout by choking him on the outside of the ring. And then, just when he thought Jericho was vulnerable, the veteran caught him with the code breaker. Fine. He didn't lose a match, and he still looks like the Destroyer. And that's exactly what he's doing. So that's cool. Then Braun Strowman comes out. He calls out Roman Reigns, saying he got lucky, and his luck runs out tonight. He doesn't want a match or need a match. He needs him to come out like a man so he can rip him limb from limb. Because Chicago doesn't like him, and neither does he. So then, a weird version of Roman Reigns' music hits. Like, it sounded like Reigns' music, but it played weird. So, it was like it started, and then they didn't turn the sound on until like 2 seconds into it. So, his music played, whatever, cool. Here comes Roman Reigns. The big dog's gonna hunt. And then his music stopped and the gong hit. And I'm like, oh, okay. All right, there we go. There we go. WWE freaking trolled us. And I'm like, all right, cool. They had Roman's music hit. They had Cole say, the big dog is gonna hunt. And freaking Taker's music and gong go off, and Undertaker comes out. Incredible pop. Chicago went crazy. They lost their freaking minds. Taker comes out, gets into the ring. Strowman nods like, okay, all right, you got it. You got it, big dog. I'm out. Hey, I don't want no parts. Strowman got out of the ring. Didn't leave via the ramp. He went through the crowd. He didn't want no parts of the Undertaker. He got the hell up out of there. And Taker stared him down all the way through as he was leaving out through the crowd. So Taker was like, all right, cool. Taker's music hits. He's leaving. I'm like, all right, we going to do Strowman versus Taker? I'm fine with that. If we're going to do that, and this Taker is going to leave, there we go. Roman Reigns' music hits. The big dog is going to hunt. And Roman Reigns comes out. And then I'm like, all right, cool. So we're actually going to do Roman Reigns versus The Undertaker. All right, cool. Reigns gets into the ring. He has a mic in his hand. And he was just pretty much saying that Strowman called him out and not The Undertaker. So with all due respect, this ring ain't your yard anymore. It's my yard. And I'm like, oh, okay. All right, Roman came across as an asshole there, but he's just pretty much telling Undertaker, hey, with all due respect, this ain't your yard no more. This is mine. So I'm going to kindly ask you to get the fuck out of my... No, he didn't say that. All right, but he pretty much said this is his yard. Undertaker looked up at the WrestleMania sign like he was just in the daze. He was just daydreaming. He turned back down to look at Reigns and grabbed his neck and chokeslammed him straight to hell and left. That was it. Didn't say one word. He was gone. And then as he's making his way back up the entrance ramp, he turns around and looks at Reigns. His music is playing. The smoke is out. And Reigns is just like looking at him like struggling to get up. Like, damn, you caught me. So they're slow building to that match. So that'll be great. Raw was very, very interesting tonight. Very enjoyable. This is something I'm not used to saying about Raw. So I definitely enjoyed it. What did you guys think? I'm going to give this show a strong B. Definitely a B show. Wasn't perfect, but wasn't bad at all. Kept me entertained, and it kind of flew by. I didn't really know it was about to end until, Braun Strowman came out. I wasn't really paying attention for once. So I enjoyed Raw. Let me know what you guys thought down in the comment section down below. I want to thank you guys for watching, and you guys can catch me tomorrow on my SmackDown review, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.